What's up, SWAU? This is Kino-Unfiltered. We're your hosts. I'm Woody.
My name is Busa.
And before we get into anything, we just like to give you just a little bit of an introduction into who we are. So, as I just said, my name is Woody. Probably 80% of the campus knows me as such, but my full name is Lenwood Shaver. I'm a junior. I got that from my dad. My role in this club is sergeant at arms, to keep the orders some slight. And I came here to study exercise science. I kind of picked it because I was into sports just a little bit, but as I grew in this major, I decided that I would be better fit as a physical therapist. So I've decided to stay that course and trace my aspirations of becoming a doctor of movement. Tell me about yourself, Vu.
Yeah, bro. As you said, my name is Vusa, and people call me Vu on campus. So Vusa or Vu, whatever it is. Hometown, born in Keene, born and raised. I'm the president of the Kinesiology Club, so I appreciate Dr. Santos and Coach Hutch for putting me in that position. And yeah, I'm also an exercise science major and with pre-PT plans. And how I kind of came into that was I wanted to combine my love for sports because I love basketball, I love soccer. So I combine that aspect with helping others. And I feel like PT was the best place to start off with because I'm able to do what I love while benefiting others, bro. So I'm excited to be on this podcast, man.
No, let's do it. We got big things planned for this year, but let's get into the real talk.
Let's do it. Hey, Wood, hold on. What is Kino-Unfiltered, bro?
That's actually a great question. So this is going to be a new movement here at SWAU where the Kinesiology Club is pretty much trying to find new ways to talk about God, but in a different way, a more fun, maybe a movement type approach.
Yeah, bro. We just realized that something's been lacking on campus, right? Like you and I have been talking, there just hasn't been enough talk about God on this campus. Not even just God, just like realness.
Just realness.
We need realness in the campus.
And like I think how this started is like we ended up being real with each other, as friends.
As boys.
This is really my guy if you guys don't know.
That's the brother right there.
And we've had a lot of these moments, especially this semester with us getting way closer where we've had these intimate talks with each other. And so we had a thought is like, why would we just keep it with each other when we need to spread it out? We need to spread God's love. So that's what our goal is with this podcast and, all the events we're going to be doing this semester and next year is to really experience God in the most raw, unfiltered way that we know how to.
So the podcast is called what?
Kino-Unfiltered. Yes, sir.
Yeah, nah, it's just a cause, man. It's just a need. Like you said, we just been having intimate moments where we just talk about real stuff that like I may be going through by myself or that you were going through by yourself. You didn't even realize that, hey, I got you. I understand you, bro. And we're just like, dang, if it is just like just me and you, imagine the whole campus, bro. There hasn't really been a spot where we're able to just talk about our feeling, whether it's as athletes, as students, as men, as black men, as anything, bro.
Asians,
like
who knows?
It's just a platform to just be real.
Be raw. And so to start this, I already said my name. Bruce already said his name, but I'm going to give you at least a little brief, introduction into, who Woody is. So to start, Woody is, my alter ego, but my real name is Lenwood Shaver. But, most people just call me Woody. I moved a lot of places, church family, we moved around a lot. I've been to a lot of different SDA, institutions like Oakwood. We have Andrews over here, and we have, G-Triple-A in Atlanta. Like I've been a lot of different places. I've been a lot of, got to experience, Christian in its, final form. But I want to bring, some of the different experiences that I've experienced here. And the best way we know how is to just be real and to be raw. So that's what, again, we're trying to do with this.
Yeah, bro. On the contrary, I'm King grown, I've lived here my whole life, born and raised. A lot of people they're gonna hate on that, but I'm gonna own it, right? I'm from King, bro. I ain't Mr. King, but I'm from King, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm from King, yeah. Yes, sir. My name is Busa. I'm your president of the Kinesiology Club, and I am studying exercise science. And what did you mention where your role on the Kinesiology Club, man?
That's me right here. I'm Sergeant in Arms, and I'm also studying, exercise science.
Yeah, man. It's just, well, I'm glad that we're able to just put this group together, bro. Just even as brothers, we have a lot of members who are on here that are not necessarily here.
Yeah.
But like, we have a good group, and I feel like if we start this movement to where we're able to just be real and raw with each other, we're gonna do good things on this campus.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
So Woody, let me ask you, bro, what is the mission of our Kino Club in your words?
So I feel like we've already talked about it like a few times, being real and raw, but what that looks like is this. We want to create a space, not just here in the kinesiology building, but on the campus where we are all friends. Everybody, knows that this isn't the biggest school, and that's actually a blessing. I feel like every person I walk past, I recognize their face and I know them, but there's still this feeling in me where I walk past them. And that's not how it should be. So what we're trying to create is an atmosphere where everybody is cool with everybody. And we know everyone's not going to be friends, but we want people to be more genuine with each other. Like, obviously, people know me, but you don't really know me. So we want to have events where people really get to know me, get to know my struggles, and get to know my dreams and my hopes. And in that, I hope that people will get to see me differently, and I get to see them differently. So that's what I feel like, our purpose and our vision for the club is. What would you say your vision is, in your own words?
Honestly, bro, I feel like you hit it on the spot. I feel like the word I would use is unity.
Unity, okay.
Yeah, like when they asked me to become president of Kinesiology Club, one thing I was like really focused on was just like, dang, how can I unite this campus? Like let's keep it a buck, bro. There's not really anything much going on this campus. If it's not an athletic event, no one is really anywhere. No one is really hanging out.
And not to cut you off, like, we understand that this is a Christian school, so we're not saying that we should be on top of cars and we should be having parties every other night. But I'm saying I've been to different SDA colleges, and I know that there's a standard that we could get to if we tried. So,
Yeah, bro. And just like you said, bro, unity doesn't have to mean like, oh, we got to party every Saturday night. We got to go out, do this and that. Unity could be right here on this campus. Like, why isn't there so many people just chilling at the student center? What happened to late night open runs and in the gym, bro?
Yeah.
Like, even the cafeteria, like,
it's empty.
It's empty. Like, there's
and
just
we're saying that as CAF workers.
As CAF workers, exactly. Hey, by the way, we CAF workers.
Yes,
So we gotta rep the CAF. But there should just be more. So, like, one of my goals were to just like, how can I make this campus bring it back to life? How can we?
How can
we bring it back to life? And so that's why I just trying to do different events. But most importantly, how can we unite the campus, but also bring them closer to God?
And I was just about to say that. Don't get it twisted. We're throwing a lot of we around, but that we includes God. He's really at the front of it. So when we say we, we're not talking about me and Vusa, Coach Mel back there. We're not talking about just me, Vusa, Coach Mel. We're really talking about, with the help of God, that is our vision for this school. And so, like, how we got to this point is, as a club, I would say Vusa had great visions for what we should be doing, trying to, turn the school up, get lit and everything like that. But the more we thought about it, the more we had to realize as a club, we were just focused on money and what, our club could look like if we were the ones having all these fun events.
Right.
And so
in the name of our club.
In the name of our club.
Our name.
We were honestly being selfish. We were thinking of prices that we can make a profit so we could get more stuff. And Coach Mel, I'll shout out Coach Mel. She was actually the one that said, hey guys, like, we shouldn't be doing this. Like, we want to create an environment for free where, because God died on
emphasis on that.
God died for us for free. So we want to create that same environment for free where you don't have to pay anything to have a good time. You don't have to pay anything to come and make friends. You don't have to pay anything to just be surrounded by people who love you. And that's what SDA schools and SWAU was and will become through God. So to, just to start off, I'll give a brief, testimony. So born and raised, I was born in Ohio, but like I said, I moved around a lot. I've lived in Alabama. I've lived in Georgia. I've lived in Michigan. I've lived in Philadelphia, so
See, I didn't even know that.
I've been, I've been all around. And I would say like I've always had, a pretty outgoing personality. And that has even helped me now, to make friends and stuff. Like people know me one way. Um, but as I got older, I was still in the church. It's so funny that we can grow up in the church and still be so far from God.
Mm,
And so that's what happened to me, about seventh grade, eighth grade, I started growing up, and middle school is the age where everyone just starts becoming wild, just starts saying crazy things, seeing crazy things, and that was kind of what happened to me. So from eighth grade up, my focus was no longer on school, it was no longer on my family, but it was actually basketball. That was at the forefront of my
mm,
responsibilities. I was chasing a ball, instead of chasing responsibility. And I won't say that was a regret because, basketball has given me a lot of great opportunities. But I often imagine like, where could I have been if I would have put God, at the forefront of my career in basketball? And so there's no regrets looking back because I know that I have a bright future with God. But the fact that I was not able to put God first in my life did cause me to make a lot of bad decisions. Like I got into, some things that I never should have been doing that still affect me now.
mm.
And so that's why we're here trying to talk about these things, because there might be somebody out there struggling with some of the very same things that I'm struggling with to this day. So as we go on, weeks, days, we're gonna hope that you guys will be vulnerable enough to share your testimonies with us. And we'll share more of our testimonies, more raw,
Mm.
unfiltered versions. But this is just a brief, introduction today.
Yeah, man. This is really Kino-Unfiltered, huh? It's all the rawness, man. Like on the contrary to Woody, like he's saying, he grew up a lot of different places, but like I was born here, right? I was born in Keene my whole life, and I was raised here. And it's easy for me to kind of say that I was an Adventist, I was a Christian, just because you grew up in that environment.
Exactly.
I did all the little things. I was in
Pathfinders.
Pathfinders.
Come on, bro.
I was in Pathfinders, adventures, all of that. I was at church every Saturday. But if we're gonna be real, Kino-Unfiltered, like I wasn't really Adventist. I was just Christian because that's the way my
Parents.
parents,
Yeah.
right? That's how I grew up. Like, don't get me wrong, like I wasn't out here on the streets, doing this and that, smoking, drinking, partying, but like even even still though, like there's so many ways where you could like you don't have to do that to not be a Christian.
Exactly.
Just like the way I walk, just things like say I was doing on a Saturday, like I knew even when I was at church, my mind wasn't there. It was just my body. And it's just like growing up, my biggest thing was like, who am I? Like I had a real identity crisis when I was a freshman in high school because like I said, I grew up at Keene Adventist Elementary School, pre-K to eighth grade, and like I didn't. So when I got taken out of that environment and I went to public school, that's when I kind of had like my real awakening. I'm like, dang, who am I without my friends around me? Who am I without the people who I grew up going to school with every single day? Like it was just a cultural shock, and that was kind of when I realized that, yo, I'm not living right. Like I don't know who I am. I've been doing this and that, and like when I realized I had nobody else to turn to but God, that's when it struck me. I'm like, dang, like I should have been here all along. And so obviously like what he's saying, we're gonna dive deep into that as we go on the podcast. We have a lot of things planned, but like that's just a brief introduction.
Just a little introduction.
Just to show you guys that like, hey, you're not alone, right?
You're not. And
there's so many different problems in campus. Like Woody and I, we come from so many different backgrounds, but we've bonded over so many things where we both grew up struggling with or that we have questions about, and so that's kind of what this podcast is about. Just being able to be real, be unfiltered, and to figure out how do we connect as brothers, as companions, as students in this school, because you shouldn't be going through things alone. you should be able to just turn to each other and have that support group and that support group with you. Yeah.
And as Christians, we feel like the devil thrives off of silence.
Mhm.
So that's exactly what we're tired of it. You know, we want to be, if we can be bold for the devil in our actions, we can be just as bold for God with our actions. So we don't want any more secrets on this campus. We know everyone's struggling, and we certainly don't want any judgment when people do start giving their testimonies.
I'm glad you said that, man.
Because I'm a sinner. Fusa here is a sinner. Coach Mel back there is a sinner. The only person who came down here and didn't sin was God. So this isn't to air out dirty laundry and judge. This is to create that community here at SWAU once again.
Yeah, man, I want to highlight that again. Like, this is a real movement, man. Like, we're not just trying to do things. We're trying to become a movement with the help of God. And like, this is a judgment-free zone. I feel like that's why Woody and I were able to connect so well, because Woody could tell me the worst thing in the world, and I'll never look at him differently.
Yeah.
Woody's my brother, so if he's wrong, I'm gonna tell him he's wrong.
To my face.
But it's never gonna be out of animosity. I'm never gonna hate Woody, look at him differently. Like that's my brother for life, and like we have that type of bondness for each other.
But we want that with everybody, not just each other. We're trying to get everybody to heaven. We're trying to get to heaven. We're trying to all do it together. So we know we said a lot, guys. We know we put a lot on your plate today. So thank you for tapping in with us. Again, it's Woody here and my boy Vu. Kino-Unfiltered.
Hey Woody, before we go, where could we watch this pod, man?
Hey, have you ever been on Instagram?
Don't we have an Instagram? Like, what's that on your shirt?
Right here. I don't know if you can see it. Right here, the logo. If you see this on Instagram, DM us any questions you have, any ideas for events. And we're looking for it. We need all the help we can get. So if you're looking for us, reach out to us on our Instagram, SWAU Kinesiology Club. Thank you guys again for listening.
Peace out. Peace tuned for the next one.
Yes, sir. We out.